despite all the chaos and confusion, this has the potential to be the best times of our lives. And we're in an epic time in history, an epic time of change and spiritual awakening. So, especially for those that are doing the spiritual work, I might add. So, I wanted to do a video on 5 essential practices for 2025, particularly the solstice season and the summer. So, let me grab my glasses and get going here. And I just did a video just the other day, and I'll post that on the end screen for you on the more challenging aspects of things and some of the predictions. It's not doom and gloom, but it brings out some of the potential challenges we're going to face this summer, things that Spirit had shared with me. So on this one, let's focus on the solution, basically. And we'll also offer a few predictions and insights, but more on the positive end of the spectrum of what's happening, as well as 5 essential spiritual practices for 2025, for the solstice season and for the summer. So this is a time of mass spiritual awakening that we're in, and more people are going to have their awakenings this summer leading into the autumn and the following year. And we are likely to see some of the effects of that by August, some of the subtle changes that may make things a little bit better for everybody. Things may come out, so we'll see how that all works out. I do see new spiritual teachers emerging, new practices, things like that, brilliant new discoveries that will change science and the thinking on the origins of humans. I think some really amazing new discoveries are going to be coming up. We'll also see some new discoveries connected to outer space, things that we're just learning now about how the universe works and different aspects of outer space that we're all a part of and that we're all connected to, basically. And this will include also extraterrestrials, learning more about them, maybe more real UFO sightings, more real contact with aliens, extraterrestrials, as well as ascended masters. A lot of that will have that telepathically. There may be some direct contacts also. And some people will begin to open the channel to connect with their guides and their extraterrestrial helpers that way. So we'll also see some glimmer of positive changes in society that will bring hope through mostly some of the seeing some of the old corrupt systems of society beginning to fall. And that can be challenging because it's a huge change, basically. But as the higher frequencies and higher consciousness is taking hold of the collective, basically the old corrupt systems begin to become exposed and dismantled. And of course, that can lead to a lot of chaos, but at the same time, it's going to make things a lot better in the long run. I also see some breakthroughs in things like human trafficking, children being rescued, though I don't think we're going to get the Epstein list during the summer. We may never get the full list, but I do think there's going to be some positive moves in that direction, especially in discovering how human trafficking works, where some of these children may be, and adults, and all that stuff. So what can we do to raise our vibes? So that's the question. What can we do to that and benefit from these stronger and higher frequencies affecting the earth and the collective that potentially will awaken our dormant DNA and grant us higher and new gifts and new awarenesses and new insights into who we truly are, what our true origins are. But first, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. So that's the first thing. Because these higher frequencies are affecting the planet and the old corrupt systems are falling because they're built on the lower vibrations and we're coming out of that now. They have to fall, and that makes things very changeable, very chaotic, and very uncertain. And the earth, Mother Earth, is connected also. She's conscious and aware. She's connected to our conscious field, our collective consciousness. So as these higher energies are displacing the older energies, it relates to climate issues, geological events like earthquakes, volcanoes, and things like that. Things we need to be aware of, as well as releasing some of the suppressed pain and karma from the collective fields and the earth fields that can release some of the aggression, and it can actually enhance things like war and aggression temporarily, and then lead to more peace and much better times after that. So anyways, moving right along here. Yes, I have everything in my notes. Of course, that's why the glasses are on. Also, the powers that want to maintain control lay more stringent rules upon us to suppress our freedom and work harder to squash our souls to make us more vulnerable, more compliant. So, in other words, awakening is not good for the agenda because they want us under control. If we awaken, discover who we are, what our purpose is, and start to ascend, then they're going to lose their control. So there's a lot of pressure against that. There's a lot of energy in the collective fields trying to suppress our consciousness, and things that go on in the world try to suppress our soul and suppress our evolution and make us more weak, more vulnerable, and therefore more willing to give up our freedoms, and creates a lot of anger, confusion, and of course, if we're battling each other, that's weakening us, and it's distracting us from what the true agendas are in the world to keep us down, basically, to keep us from evolving and for things to progress. So it's all changing. They can't stop that. But anyway, so the first thing is first. The practical part is you prepare for any potential problems, natural disasters, things that might happen in a world where there's a lot of conflict, where the specter of World War III is looming and everything. So we need to have a plan, right? What if an emergency hits our town, our village, our country, our state, basically? So have extra supplies, batteries, stuff like that, medications that you might need, all that kind of good stuff, to be prepared. So, if you can have cash, extra food, all that stuff, and a plan if you have to evacuate or something happens where you have to act quickly. The thing is, we have to be okay with sudden changes. That's just the world that we live in. That's what's happening. And that's part of the ascension and the growth. That's the dislodging of the old. It gets chaotic, but then we reach a higher order and a stronger and greater connection to who we are as spirit, why we're here. We start to remember, and we start to come together as a conscious world community, and we start to grow and evolve and start to create that golden age of enlightenment. So that's the first thing. So the first exercise is that higher frequencies can be a great gift, but also a big challenge. So it all depends on how open and fluid we are. When there are suppressed traumas, programs, and such, it creates cogs in our energy field. So as the frequencies increase, we notice those cogs more. It hurts in some way or another, basically. It becomes more evident. And so when the frequencies increase, these blocks create more problems. It can affect health, well-being, what we create in our lives, how we feel, and all that. So the first thing is understand and work with shadow integration work. But also, if you have issues, a lot of us do, not all of us had great childhoods. Some of us carry karma into this lifetime. All that stuff, get help, whether it's a psychologist, a counselor, spiritual counseling, or whatever, and do your shadow integration work. And that way you start to remove these cogs, then the increasing energy flows through you more smoothly, that helps you to awaken more seamlessly and helps you to avoid a lot of problems. We have a whole playlist on the Medium channel on how to do shadow integration work. So the second thing is, work with presence and meditation. Develop a daily meditation practice. It's more important than ever. Presence development. All right, I just said that. What happens though when we start to meditate, it starts to dissolve the filters between the conscious and subconscious, and we suppress a lot of our unwanted memories, pain, all that in the subconscious. So that starts to dissolve. So that's why shadow integration work's important. To integrate those shadows, then they become our great strength. It's sort of like reintegrating the different parts of our lost soul parts that can get scattered through traumas and stuff like that. So meditation will do that. Also, meditation will increase your awareness of energy and flow and help you to remember who you are and why you are here. our programming tries to block your spiritual progress, and also the powers that be try to block it as they lose control. So meditation is very important. And what presence is taking meditation into the world. So every time you think about it, stop your thoughts, be aware of your breath, your body, and the space around your body, and just be aware. Try not to think, just take things in, let thoughts come in naturally until something takes you out of it, and then next time you think about it, do it again. And if you do this through the power of repetition, your mind reprograms and you become a more present person. You're less in your thoughts, and therefore when you're in your thoughts you become less aware of your surroundings and less aware of who you are as spirit, and you become more naturally more aware of that stuff, which is very important, and that's going to help you to ascend and grow. So meditation and presence, hugely important in any era, but especially today. The third thing is do spiritual exercises and breath work like yoga or qigong or stuff like that, hiking, grounding, being in nature, feeling the flows of nature. So consciously let the flows of energy through you through breath work. And there's different styles of breath work. I have several videos on different types of breath work to do, but breathing helps to move energy through you and around you. It helps you to ascend in consciousness, and it helps you to clear things, and it helps you to be stronger and healthier. So spiritual exercises is great. Go out into nature and ground and center. That's really important, especially when there's so much stress. The more grounded we are, the more we can remain sensitive and open without being overwhelmed by what's going on out there. So run your roots deep, then the storms won't blow you over, basically. The fourth thing to do is do some detoxing. Cleanse your body, eat good food, do maybe a parasite cleanse, do water, intermittent fasting, things of that nature, because we really want to clear our vessels. We want to strengthen our bodies because our bodies are, after all, the temple of our souls. And because we are here on earth for a reason, we want to bring spirit into our earthly environment because we are spirit having a human experience. We want to get into the matrix, understand it, be one with it. That's how we escape the matrix or Maya or the illusion. So basically, that can start with doing some physical detoxing and emotional detoxing. Lots of water, lots of cleansing. Clear the parasites. Most people have them. There's different ways of doing that and so forth. And the fifth, and probably the most important, is work with the heart. Work with the frequencies of the heart. There's different ways of doing this. My go-to practice that I teach a lot here on the Medium channel is heart-brain coherence. I've got a playlist on how to do that. It's a very simple practice. It's a meditation that you do 3 times a day for about 11 minutes at a time, where the first step is you get present, you relax your body, get very present, feel very grateful. You consciously feel grateful and compassionate and hold that in your heart. I like to get so present. I'm not a name, I'm not a body. I'm observing my physical body, but I'm spirit experiencing life through the physical rather than the other way around. And I just, when I do that, my frequency raises naturally. I just feel grateful naturally. I don't have to do anything else. You can count your blessings, whatever you do, but you want to feel gratitude, hold that in your heart, and breathe, relax, and stay present. By doing that and staying present, your heart and your brain will start to blend because they are connected. It's the programming that severs the heart-brain connection, which severs our connection from spirit, and that's when we become vulnerable to disease and being programmed and unhappy and unfulfilled in this lifetime. This will restore that. So when you restore the heart-brain connection, you restore your connection with God, spirit, or source. It's the divine triad. Do that 10 minutes at a time, 11 minutes, 3 times a day. It's got all kinds of benefits, but that is what's going to bring you into your power. It's going to help you to transcend the lower and to help you to ascend more quickly as well as more gracefully with less things like ascension symptoms and problems. And you're going to discover who you are. And during this time of ascension, that is really, really key. So do that. So I want to put over here the first part of this video where I have all the summer predictions for you, basically. So that's over here. And thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next video. Namaste.